Hello and welcome to another episode of Todd's in My Kitchen. I'm your host, Todd Thomas, and I'm here today in the kitchen of Melissa Ragsdale, who is the owner of Ragsy Pastries. Melissa, thanks for letting us come join you today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Talk a little bit about Ragsy Pastries. What is that?
Well, Ragsy Pastries is my business where I'm doing a lot of contract work and different pastries with local St. Louis restaurants. Most recently, I did Lazy Tiger and Salt and Smoke. I do a lot of hand-painted macarons and mirror glazed mousse cakes. I'm also working full-time right now for Proper Cannabis, which is a separate thing.
Okay.
And that's kind of my more full-time job, so I'm periodically selling about once a month or so.
What made you get interested in the pastries?
Well, I love pastries because they're very artistic. You can express yourself in so many ways, and it's something I felt more natural at versus cooking, which I'm awful at. So, you know, it's just a great way to express yourself.
So you just said you're a terrible cook, but you're really good at the pastries, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
What are we going to be making today?
So today we'll make two different mirror glazes. We'll make a dark chocolate mirror glaze and we'll make a caramel espresso mirror glaze.
Okay.
And then we'll use those glazes to ice different mousse cakes that I formed and froze overnight. So we'll start with a dark chocolate mirror glaze first.
Okay, all right.
So first we're gonna bloom some of our gelatin. We'll add these into the saucepan right here. So first we're doing sweetened condensed milk, about 4 ounces. And then we'll add water. And then we'll add the sugar right here, which is 150 grams. So we'll give it a little stir. And then once it starts bubbling, we'll add it onto our dark chocolate and let it sit for a minute and melt, and use our immersion blender to mix it together so it's more uniform. So now that that's all nice and hot, we'll turn it off because we don't want to lose any of the liquid.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're gonna add in our gelatin that's bloomed. It'll look like that. I'll add in this cocoa powder. So we'll sieve it in any little bits that didn't get broken down by the immersion blender, whether it be chocolate or cocoa powder, will sit there and it won't go through, so it's a smooth glaze. Now that you've sieved it and everything, is just to add in a little bit of corn syrup for a shine, and if you want it to be black, I like to add just a little bit, but not too much. And it starts to blacken. The bubbles will rise and we'll scoop out the bubbles so that it's even smoother and you can see yourself in it. So we're ready.
All right, let's go glaze the cakes.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, Melissa, we now have the dark chocolate mirror glaze, and what's our next step now?
So now we'll glaze the cakes. So right here I have pre-made cakes. I always freeze them the night before at least, because they need to be completely formed and not at all fragile when you glaze them. You pull them right from the freezer. And these guys are dark chocolate mousse cakes with a dark chocolate cake base.
So let's talk about what all is in this.
So it's a dark chocolate mousse, and typically I'll put like a coulis in it, like strawberry coulis or raspberry coulis. This one's actually just all dark chocolate for the chocolate lovers. And it has a dark chocolate cake base with a dark chocolate mousse, dark chocolate glaze. So very simple, delicious, especially if you like chocolate.
We are loading up on the chocolate today for sure.
Very chocolate, yes.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and glaze it. And before I glaze it though, what I'll want to do is so I'm going to do a streak of colors immediately after glazing, because if you don't do it immediate, then it won't set right.
Okay.
So I'm going to put a little bit, my choice.
And by the way, I should be watching because I'm going to do this one, right?
Yes, yeah, I'm hoping you'll follow up and do the same thing that I'm doing right here. So I'll go ahead and show you. We'll do a little white.
Okay.
Okay. I kind of like
And what is that you're putting on there?
So this is a white food gel.
Okay.
You don't need to mix it with mirror glaze, but you can. I like to directly just add it on because it's easier. So let's see. And if you do mix it with mirror glaze, you'd mix it with a white mirror glaze so that the color shows.
Okay.
So here we go, which would be made with white chocolate.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and glaze it first, like this. Okay. Like that.
Wow, that looks great.
You just go like this. Do a smooth streak throughout.
Oh,
You
that's
could see.
beautiful. It's simply, it's artwork.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to do much. The mirror glaze does it for me. So.
And then, so now it's just going to kind of settle, and then it'll harden, I guess?
It does, so it settles, and then the gelatin kind of seizes it. So right now, this will probably be the look that you will have. It won't stretch out much more than that.
Okay, Melissa, so what's next for me?
Okay, so next you're gonna do the exact same thing I just did. We'll do our best. So let's see what you'll do.
So I'm gonna do the dab.
Yes.
And by the way, I know you all want to see me dab, so let's just get it out of the way. Okay, there we go. Now, what you did, can I just try it on my own?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you put one red dot there.
And there's a lot of freedom with it. You could
Right,
put
and
whatever.
then you did a little squiggly. Like that, and then kind of a little something here.
Yes. Yeah.
How's that? Is that pretty good?
That looks amazing.
Okay, now we set this down.
Yes, and I like to make sure you set it down. There we go.
Okay, is that good?
Yes, it's perfect.
And now it's starting to run. It's going to be fine.
It's fine.
Okay.
That's even better.
Let's get that glaze on.
Okay, so here you go.
Okay.
So you'll just pour from the middle and swirl it around so it gets all the sides.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, gorgeous. Beautiful.
Okay. Can you do too much? Or
no, because
you just don't want to waste.
No, so I actually reuse the mirror glaze. You can reuse it because it doesn't take anything off the mousse cake.
Okay.
So typically I will use it. It stays good for quite a bit of time.
And how quickly do we need to do this part?
Right away.
Okay.
Go for it.
Well, crap.
Well, you know what?
That was sloppy.
That's okay because we could add a little more. You could do it again.
Okay, I'm going to come back with it this way.
There you go.
Oh, look at that.
That's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
That looks really beautiful. You didn't do like most of the time people scrape off a bit of it. So
No, I didn't.
Looks great.
A cake only a mother could love. Okay, so what would we do now? I mean, yours looks like marble.
Yes, so that's okay. So actually, this is a good thing to show is that this is if you wait a little bit long. And then this is if you do it immediately right away, because it has to be pretty hot for it to split like that, which this still looks great, and sometimes I still do that.
I think you're patronizing me, but
I mean, I think
it does look good. I'm not going to say that looks horrible.
It does look good. That was
well,
your
yours
first
looks
try.
really cool. Okay, Melissa, these look really good, but we're going to do some decorating now, right?
Yes, and so there's a lot of freedom with this, and you can decorate it however you want.
Okay.
Typically, I'll decorate the dark chocolate mousse cakes with berries and silver because I think it looks really nice with the black.
Okay.
One thing I also love doing is flicking a little silver dust. This is a rainbow silver dust. You can find it at a cake supply store.
Okay.
And all you have to do is dip it into the dust.
Okay.
And then you just flick it like this, wherever you want to put it.
Okay.
And it gives that little glitter effect.
I'll do that too. That looks fun.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So it's on there, and then.
Yeah, just however you want.
Yeah. See.
That's perfect.
See what happens when you. Yeah.
It looks
beautiful.
good. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like abstract art. So
Okay. And then any kind of we have
anything
blueberries
you
and
want.
blackberries, right?
Yes, anything you'd like. So these ones up front, I usually use for the caramel espresso mousse cake, but you're more than welcome to use them for this. But for these, I do the blueberries and the blackberries. I'll do, kind of just layer them wherever, usually along like a line or so, just because it looks more uniform.
And so when these are on here, do they stay on there, or do you cut them and kind of like grab a piece and eat it, or how? Because how many is this supposed to serve, this cake here?
So this typically serves about 8 to 10 people.
Okay.
And if you do really small slices, up to 14. So it depends on how decadent you're feeling. And then, so for these, the decoration and everything, you put it in like this, and you refrigerate it. It usually lasts up to about 5 days in the fridge. So if you can't eat it all, if you're not 14 people, then that's perfect.
Okay.
So I like to put berries on it. And one cool thing with the berries is that you can use, so this is like the silver dust that we have right here. It's not the rainbow silver dust.
Right.
It's just a normal silver dust that you can get from a cake supply store. And I like to add a little bit of vodka to it. So we'll use Sky vodka. So,
Okay.
Brought to you by Sky. So,
Right.
And then you pour a little bit in. And this is how I hand paint macarons too, is by adding vodka to food gels.
Okay.
Just like watercolor. So then for this, so you see we added some vodka to it. You can reuse this all the time. The vodka just kind of, leaves the building. So,
Right.
So we go like this. And I like to put a little on the berries. So they have like a little silver.
Oh. All right, well, that looks very good. Well, we're going to continue decorating these, and when we come back, we'll show you the finished project, and we also are going to do something else. What are we going to do?
Caramel espresso mirror glaze.
All right.
Yeah.
Come back and join us.
You're watching the TV network.
Welcome back to Todd's in My Kitchen. Melissa, we just finished up decorating the dark chocolate mirror cakes. I think they turned out awesome. We did some berries on there, some of that rainbow sprinkles, the silver. I think they're gorgeous. And you actually see yourself in them like a mirror.
Yes, yeah, that's the hope.
How do you think they turned out?
I think they look great. I can't tell which one's mine. So, I mean, you did a wonderful job. They look great.
So what are we going to do next?
So now we're going to do a caramel espresso mousse cake.
Okay.
I made a caramel espresso mirror glaze for it, which I cooked down the sugar for, and then I combined the gelatin and the water to bloom.
Okay.
And then once the sugar's cooked down to caramelize and is amber, then we add in the cornflour and milk mixture that I mixed together.
Okay.
And we add in the gelatin, and we cook it all together, and then put it through a sieve so that it collects any little caramel bits that might happen, because usually it crystallizes just a little bit. So. And
so this is the end result right here.
Yes, so this is the end result right here. So you could see it's still kind of mirror glazy, but it's a little less so because usually in lighter colors they're not as reflective, which is fine. So,
which we noticed when we add the black gel to the last one, right?
Yes, yeah. When you add the black gel, it really pops. That's one of my favorite things.
And then real quick, what are we putting these on? What is this?
So we'll put these on pre-made mousse cakes. They're caramel espresso mousse cakes to go with the glaze.
Okay.
It's a hazelnut sablé Breton cookie with a honey chocolate ganache, and then a caramel mousse on top.
Ooh, my mouth is watering. Let's get going.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll start with the mirror glaze.
Okay.
So you'll just do this right after I do it.
Okay.
So I'll hand it off to you. You just kind of go like this. So, and you really want to make sure it's the right temperature. So typically I'll do about 27 degrees because otherwise it'll just slide right off. And this one's a little bit lower temperature because it's thinner.
Okay.
Go. Gorgeous.
I like that you told me that you can't do too much.
No, you
You've
can't.
done too much if you've run out.
Exactly. Just make sure it's covered. We'll reuse it. No big deal. Yeah, that looks wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Let me set this just right here.
Yeah, just wherever.
All right.
And then so next we'll decorate them.
Right.
And I got a lot of different things that kind of match this mousse cake.
Okay.
So typically I'll do, these are hazelnuts right here, and then we have some toasted nuts right here, which these are actually pecans because I like all the nuts.
Okay.
With a little gold dust on them. And then these are chocolate espresso beans. And you can see here's chocolate decor, which you can lay right on top if you wanted to, which I made prior and froze so that we can use them. So you could do nuts on the side, which is a fun thing to do.
Okay.
What you do is you just pick it up like this. Use your hand. And so it has a base, so it's easier. If it were just mousse, you really couldn't hold it like this. Right. And then you just kind of twirl it around so that it's on the sides. And you can go as far up as you would like. Usually I go like, I'll either go all the way up or just like a little bit on the sides.
Okay.
You want to give it a go?
Well, let me just ask you something. Is that the bottom and we're looking at the top? Or?
Yes, so this is the top and then this is the bottom right here that you hold it from. And here, if you'd like to use the little spatula.
I do.
A little easier than just picking it up.
So we get that up and then we come underneath it there. We set that down. And then.
And typically I like to use my dominant hand to hold it, and then
it's too late. It's already in my left hand. You're gonna get.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see how this. And can I double dip these nuts?
Yeah, you
like
could
that?
do. Go for it. The glaze doesn't usually fall off once it's already set, and it's set
I'll tell
already.
you something. It's gonna just be sloppy.
That's okay. The more nuts, the better.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with a lot of nuts.
All right. Well. I want to just like drop the whole thing in there, but that's probably not a good move.
It would be delicious. So,
Now, so let me, while we're doing this, is there really no wrong thing you can do? It's just kind of whatever you want?
Right, there's no wrong thing you could do. There are certain things you should be careful about so that you don't pull the glaze off. So when it's already set, you don't want to like do the stripe thing I did with the dark chocolate glaze. And then if you put something on, you really can't take it off.
Okay.
It's there for good. So, so another thing that I like to do is use these chocolate decors.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of scoop it up.
Now, those are very delicate, right? I just can't grab them with my hands or it'll break. Probably.
They are delicate. I would use that to leverage it.
All right.
Yep, you plop it right on. Okay, just
Look
get
at that.
Todd.
That was a good one.
Perfect. You did get a good one. So I actually didn't. Mine was delicate and it fell apart.
Well, that's okay. No one knows. No one saw it.
Well, let's hope not. Let's see.
Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to take a couple of these espresso chocolates. I want to drop one right there. But it's not going to
Gorgeous.
stick unless I...
Well, so if you have a
Oh,
problem
look
with
at that. It's going to... I got it.
the between sticks really well. Also, something I'll do to make things stick if they don't stick, like gold on chocolate, is I'll use just a little bit of the glaze and I'll just pop it on and put whatever the item is on top of it. So like the espresso
Glue
beans.
wouldn't be a good thing to be using,
Glue
right?
wouldn't be a good thing. No, probably not. My elementary school teacher would say, heck no.
Okay, now you've got some gold over there. Tell me what we're going to do with that.
Yes, so this gold's pretty cool. What you'll do is you'll add in a little bit of vodka again. So you just want to put enough into it so that it wets it, but it still keeps the gold.
Okay.
So if you put too much of it, it'll get too watered down. So you go like this.
Okay.
So you can see it's like a gold liquid. Okay, so even so, like it's a little thin. So I'll add a little more gold to it if it's too thin like that. So you just add a little bit, So you can see it kind of.
You were a heavy pour with your vodka.
I was I know, it's hard, to kind of gauge that because I think I'm pouring myself a drink. So, okay, so you'll see it looks like that.
Okay, that's really cool looking.
And then we'll get, so we have different circles and stuff, so we'll just use this one.
Okay.
You just dip it.
All right.
Like so. Make sure there's not so much excess. Then you just go boop, like that. It's a circle.
Oh, and then you can kind of overlap them to make a, it's starting to look like the Olympic rings.
Yes, it sure is. I know, if only. Here we go.
Now, could I use the paintbrush and paint if I wanted?
Yes, you could use the paintbrush, so that is another option. And if you paint it, do a light touch so that it doesn't disturb the mirror glaze. It looks like you're writing words. I'm pretty excited.
TIMK stands for Todd's in My Kitchen. Look at that right there.
Perfect.
Put some nuts on there because I'm a little
go.
nutty. All right, just drop them right like that. Bam, bam, bam.
Gorgeous.
All right. What else do we want to do? We got to do something over here with this one.
Yeah, you could use whatever. You could do it upside down too if you want it more like a bowl. So kind of like this. And then you could use it as like something to put other little things.
The other way. I did like a dome.
That's
there.
cool too, though.
Well, Melissa, this is awesome. So if people want to find out more about you or maybe get an order in or find out what's going on with Melissa, how do they find out about your company?
So I mostly just promote on my Instagram, Ragsy Pastries. You can check it out. I do promote, I'll sell about once a month and I'll post about it and talk about it and how you can do that. So.
Okay, and you want to share with us your Instagram handle?
Sure, it's Ragsy_Pastries. So.
All right, well, she's Melissa Ragsdale. I'm Todd Thomas, and
Todd's in my kitchen.